This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey, it's Musso. No show on Monday due to the impacts of Hurricane Ida, but join Mario and I on Tuesday's Early Line. We'll recap our Week 0 picks, and it's game week for the LSU Tigers. Early Line, 2 to 3, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into Off the Bench. ZVR sitting in for T-Bob Bear. I know our internet keeps going in and out. We are on our generator right now. We'll try to continue to have that YouTube chat up as many times as we can. Let's go ahead and go now to Houston, Texas. Coach O joins us from Houston. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Jacob, this is Derek. I'm trying to find Coach. He just went to a meeting.
All right, hey, we'll punt.
Yeah,
like that. DVR.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll call you back in a second.
All right, sounds good. All right. Yeah, I'm sure right now, probably a little all over the place.
There's a lot of audibles. There's a lot of audibles for sure right now.
Trying to set up exactly what they're doing right now. So hopefully we can have Coach O whenever we get back in there. Again, like, you're going to have a different schedule. And it's something that you and I were talking about before the show. I was asking you, have you ever had to, move a practice, move a game? And you mentioned, the BYU game was supposed to be in Houston, but you moved that one to BYU, and you got to practice at your facility.
Right. And we did move last minute, but it wasn't quite these circumstances. It wasn't as severe of a situation. Well, I take that back. It was severe for Houston, but for us, we just had to go down the road to New Orleans. And it wasn't quite the moving parts that this one is. This is a much bigger deal. You had to evacuate, 10-hour drive to Houston. So this was a much bigger audible than the one we had to do going back to New Orleans.
Yeah, during Katrina, we moved the game I guess it was, a week out from Baton Rouge to Tempe, Arizona, and that was kind of wild. Now, we continued to practice here. I think we had one practice out in Tempe, but we didn't really practice there. This is kind of a different situation, and thankfully they were able to get out in time after Saturday's practice before the storm hit. They were able to get out, go to Houston, and for us, it was kind of a wild scene. We had games canceled. We had a game on a Monday night that year. We had, like I said, a game that was pretty much across the country that was supposed to be in Baton Rouge. And if you have a veteran team, it's something that you can handle. And LSU, obviously, having the veteran offensive linemen and the veterans they have on that team, you hope that they've been able to handle that, not even really realize where they're at, just realize that they're trying to get ready for a game. And anytime you're away, for the most part, that's why you go away for training camp in the NFL, a lot of places. You go away so you can concentrate on one thing. So right now, actually, that's what they're doing. They don't have any distractions.
It's being treated like a bowl game. It's similar to a bowl game.
As far as, right now school's canceled. Now, knowing where their family's at, that's probably the biggest part. No doubt. I mentioned that earlier. Like, because obviously LSU's got a ton of players from South Louisiana, and I would assume most of them have had contact with their families because that's the most important thing. And once you get that, Once you know that your family's safe, well, you can concentrate on getting ready for the game. You're not going out. You're in a hotel, so you're staying in. Well, what do you do when you stay in? Well, you get your iPad out. You watch a little bit more tape than you normally will because you're not going to go out and do anything.
Hopefully they get ahead on their schoolwork, right? Some guys take advantage of the situation, get some homework, all that math homework out the way, so you don't have to worry about it the next couple weeks.
Other shows might have had that mentality. Here on OTB with me and T-Bob, I don't really know that was the mentality, but it's great that we have you here to give that mentality.
I've done it a couple times, but not.
Well, I mean, and two, they just started school.
True.
Like they've only been to really a couple of classes.
If you got math lab, you have homework that's structured throughout the semester. You know what's coming up, so you can knock it all out. I'm sure some listeners have had math lab at LSU, so they know what I'm talking about. Just knock it out and have less to do later on.
Nobody here, and I mean nobody, was thinking get ahead of their math homework.
Hey, that's what I got to do at LSU. I got tired of being constantly swamped, and I needed my time here and there to spend my dog, and anything away from schoolwork was nice. And so if I'm in a hotel locked up and I can't go out and leave, I'm probably going to try and do something. I was doing homework at the Georgia game in Atlanta. I got all my final homework done before that game. I had nothing to do before the Oklahoma game.
All right, so where were y'all in semester-wise? Y'all were about to take finals, huh?
Yeah, it was about 10 days before finals. I was done 10 days before finals actually started. I was done with all my work.
You were in your hotel room
grinding
in Atlanta, grinding on math homework.
And it wasn't math homework. It was like computer. It was a computer science class or something. I can't remember another class that I had, but it was classes that I did not want to participate in anymore. So I was making sure to be done with them as quickly as possible.
Oh, so obviously LSU being in Houston they're staying in a hotel in downtown Houston. They're using the Texans facilities right now, kind of like the Saints are using the Cowboys facilities. And I mentioned it. Unfortunately, this is something that we're used to in South Louisiana, moving a practice, having to be flexible during hurricane season. How many times have we had a game that has been moved because of one reason or another? You're supposed to play here. Wait a minute, the week of, no, you're playing here. We know that, we know that world. And again, it's unfortunate, but it's just what you have to be ready for. I don't think this is going to be a big distraction. I kept getting the text over and over again whenever this news became public on Saturday night or Sunday, but I don't think it's going to be a distraction. They do a great job of being ready to go.
I think we got Coach O back. So.
All right, Coach, we got you.
Zach, what's up, guys? Two great Tigers.
How's it going, Coach O?
Good morning, man. It's Competition Tuesday for the Tigers today.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach, we were just talking about it. Y'all do such a great job of keeping the players already locked in. But unfortunately, LSU, we kind of know this world. We know about moving a game, moving a practice, having to adapt to whatever's going on in South Louisiana during hurricane season. So I would assume the guys are handling moving to Houston this week just fine.
You're great. Let me say this. First of all, the administration was right 110% behind us to give us the go-ahead to come here. We're staying at a great hotel in the Hyatt Regency. The city of Houston, the Houston, Texas, were great. They gave us the stadium yesterday. They met us at the stadium. Great hospitality. And I'd like to say that all our thoughts and our prayers are with our great fans from the state of Louisiana. We're hurting for them. But I promise you, our guys are focused in, dialed in to play a great game for our fans.
Absolutely. So, Coach, you get there kind of late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and then the week just kind of continues like it would if you were in Baton Rouge as far as the practice schedule?
As far as the practice schedule, yes. Today is Competition Tuesday. Yesterday was Tell the Truth Monday. Our guys have been phenomenal. Curfew at 11 o'clock. They're eating good. They're resting well. We had study hall. We brought our academic people with us here last night. So we're continuing on as business at hand.
All right, Coach, obviously UCLA had a game over the weekend as well. Did you get a chance to maybe sit down with the staff and watch that as it was happening live? Have you had a chance to go back and watch the tape as well?
Oh, yeah. We watched it live, and I got to say, Chip Kelly did a tremendous job with his team. They looked fantastic for an opening game. They played well in all three facets of the game. This is going to be a battle, but we knew that going in.
How do you anticipate going against the running game? They showed a lot coming out the gate, and they look pretty good. Their offensive line looks much improved. How do you feel that we're going to attack down?
Well, Zach, one of the strengths of our football team is out front.
Yep, no doubt.
So it's going to be big man on big man. It's a big man's game. But Charbonnet and the other back ran very well. They broke tackles. They had a lot of pin and pull, gap scheme. We have to be in our gaps. We have to make tackles at the point of attack, gang tackle. Their quarterback is very dangerous with the ball in his hand with his feet. we knew that going in. That running game's a little bit stronger than we saw last year. But I think the biggest part that's improved is, number one, the running game. Number two, their defense. They played outstanding defense, attacking defense. They played outstanding on special teams.
Coach, last week we talked to you. You're hoping to get Derek Stingley back this week for practice. Any update on any of the guys that are injured and potentially missing some time here?
Yeah, Derek practiced yesterday. He looked fine. Just a little. It was just coming back from the first day. It took him a little while to get going and stuff like that. Warmed up. But once he warmed up, he was fine. Eli Ricks was fine. So we think that we're going to have not all of our team, but most of our team coming back ready to go.
And obviously, Coach, being there, in Houston, I'm going to assume you're just going to leave straight from there. Keep the schedule as far as travel to Los Angeles. You're going to leave a day early. I knew that was important to you to get out there a day early and try to get used to the time change.
Yeah, we're gonna practice here Thursday morning, just like we had planned on Baton Rouge, and then we're gonna leave here from Houston Thursday. Get to Los Angeles on Thursday night, just like we did for the SEC championship when we went to Georgia. We'll have a nice meal. We'll let our guys rest on Friday. We got Focus Friday. We are going to practice in the Rose Bowl on Friday, so our guys can see it, just like we did when we went playing Dallas in Jerry's new stadium. Let them see the stadium. Let them get that out of the way. Friday night we'll have our meetings, and Saturday we'll go to Rose Bowl again.
Coach O, this is your first game back in California since you were at USC. It's your first time coaching, so I know you're excited to go out there and put on a show and enjoy that perfect weather, huh?
No question. I'm excited to bring back the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, no doubt.
11 years I spent at USC was great for me and my family. I loved it. The Trojan was great to us. We loved Los Angeles. It was great. I have some great friends there. But there's nothing like being at home. And I never dreamed I'd be taking the Tigers to the Rose Bowl, but I'm excited about it.
Coach, when they get out there and they get off the plane, I remember the first time I got off the plane when I was with the Chargers in San Diego, and I was like, wait a minute, I can breathe. This is so nice. There's no humidity here. What's going on? Have you told them, hey, guys, you might be able to run circles around what you normally do because of the weather?
I want to surprise them.
That's right.
When you get off the plane in Los Angeles, you go, wow, who put on the air conditioning? But I think it's supposed to be 81 degrees. As we know, it can get hot in Los Angeles. We're preparing for anything. Our guys have done a great job. I think we're in good shape. The biggest thing for me in the first game is, tackle, take care of the football, no line of scrimmage penalties. Just play ourselves, get the pregame jitters out the way. And then, again, the speed of the game, anytime you play an option team, you have to get used to the speed of the game. So we're trying to match that speed of the game in practice this week.
Hey, Coach, before we let you go, obviously we saw, what happened down on the Bayou where your friends, family, or obviously where you grew up, and just wanted to check in, with your mother, who obviously is still down there on the Bayou. Have you been able to keep up with everybody?
Yeah, Coco went to Texas.
Okay.
She's in Beaumont. I didn't tell her we're in Houston because she came trying to coach the team. but she's giving me a report, and I'll talk to my family and my friends down there. Everybody's okay. I think the Bayou had, start with Grand Island and Port Fourchon went right up the Bayou. There's a lot of homes and buildings that have been destroyed, but we're resilient. We're going to fight just like everybody else.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach, last thing before we let you go, I got a text last night from one of your former Trojan players, John David Booty. He said, tell Coach O, I said, I will be in the Rose Bowl, and I'll be cheering on the Tigers.
My man, one of my all-time favorite recruits. What a great family. I've been friends with the Booty family for years. They're great people, and John David was a great Trojan.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach, man, we know how crazy your schedule is. We really appreciate your time this morning. Look forward to seeing you out there in Pasadena.
Thank you, great. Hey, Jake, great from hearing from you. Hey, Zach, good to hear you on the radio, man.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Proud of you.
I thank
All
you.
right,
I
go
appreciate
Tigers.
it. Go Tigers.
Absolutely. There he is, Coach O from Houston. As you can tell, in between meetings, trying to make sure that they stay on schedule as much as possible. So we appreciate him giving us a couple of minutes here this morning. Good news. Derek Stingley Jr. practicing yesterday.
Huge.
I would assume that means he is going to be ready to play on Saturday. I don't know if it's a limited amount of snaps. It still seems like they're trying to figure out exactly where he's at.
From what I know, and I've been playing with Stingley for 3 years, he is going to suit up and he's going to play every single snap until Corey Raymond rips him off the field, because if he plays one snap, he's playing all of them, and that's just the way he is.
All right, we will take a break here, react to some of the things Coach O mentioned when we come back on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to AccuTempBR.com. Obviously, right now, I know that we have a lot of power outages in the Baton Rouge area, so if you're working on a generator, if you're working without power and you've got a question when everything comes back, right, when that power gets restored and maybe your AC is not working like it's supposed to, maybe being shut down for those couple of days, did something to it, remember AccuTemp is ready to help out. Go to AccuTempBR.com because we give you the website. You can live chat right there on the homepage. You can set up a call back if this is not a good time for you. You can set up a text thread with them as well. So even if you don't have power, go ahead with that cell phone, get that text thread going. 225-529-0335 is the number. Go ahead, get them scheduled, right? A lot of people are going to be calling AccuTemp right now. Give that number a call, get them scheduled, get them to come out to be ready to look at your AC unit whenever power does get restored. AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys. Hey, it's Musso. No show on Monday due to Hurricane Ida. Stay safe and join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Matt is back in the host chair. It's game week for the LSU Tigers. Tuesday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on a Tuesday morning. Just caught up with Coach O from Houston, Texas. If you missed that, you can catch that on demand. I'm sure Danny will have that turned out here pretty fast. Nice job, Danny, keeping us on YouTube. Moose keeping us on air here. We're on the generators, so it's a little spotty, but hey, we got to be here, and hopefully we're letting you escape just for 3 hours this morning. As we mentioned, we'll continue to try to update you when we find out any information on gas and bottled water, anything, generators, anything like that as it becomes available. I know a lot of the chatter in the chat right now is talking about flying out of New Orleans. And I don't know if this is still going on, but my wife also was flying out to the game from New Orleans. And right now, I know you could yesterday, you can change that flight from New Orleans to Baton Rouge if you're flying United, and there's no charge. They're not charging you any change fee or anything like that. I know a lot of people are doing Southwest, but if you are on United, you can switch from New Orleans to Baton Rouge at no extra charge. And I know they're doing that service, so I would assume there's other airlines that are doing that. I know Southwest doesn't fly out of Baton Rouge, so I don't know what their policy is right now, but you potentially could change your flight for no fee right now if you do it, I believe, in the next 24 hours.
And we are here trying to be the escape right now from Hurricane Ida, but if possible, if you know of anybody who needs assistance, whatever it may be, you can at me at ZVR09. You can inform me about ice, water, generators. Somebody mentioned that there's 200 generators being delivered to Lowe's Burbank this morning. So any information, relevant information that people need, or tree removal, whatever it may be, you can at me at ZVR09, and I'll give you a plug here, and we'll try to help out as many people as we can.
All right, as we talked with Coach O, I love talking to him during football season. He always has a pep in his voice. It gets me fired up, and you can tell it's a great question by you, Zach. He is ready to go back to the Rose Bowl. It's a place that he played every other year when he was at USC. He's had some great battles with UCLA. He knows this team. He knows this stadium. I also love that Coach brings his team to stadiums like this beforehand, so y'all get a chance to really see what's going on. Like Jerry's World is something different. Like everybody kind of has the oohs and ahs. Rose Bowl, now the stadium is not like the most impressive thing. It's literally just a bowl.
It's just an icon.
There's not a lot of things to it where you go ooh and ah, but it's just the scene outside the stadium, right? It's seeing the sunset and the whole deal. Like y'all know, y'all have heard Keith Jackson from ABC back in the day call Rose Bowls, and that was, most of my childhood, right? Keith Jackson doing the Rose Bowl there. So it's an iconic stadium. I love the fact that he gets them out there, lets them see it. And
what's the nickname? Is it Granddaddy of the Mall? That's it, Granddaddy of the Mall.
I keep forgetting, because you're recently away from LSU, that you actually get a lot of the things from my childhood referencing. Like Keith Jackson. You remember hearing Keith Jackson
all the time, every year. It was an iconic moment. And a lot of the old baseball announcers too. I remember all of them. You're only 6 years older than me, Jacob.
Oh, you 30?
I'm 30.
Oof. Moose, how old are you, Moose?
27. Be 28 in November.
Oh, okay. 27 and a half. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Danny, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24.
Yeah, that's young. He's a young buck.
Yeah. You didn't have to tell everybody I was 36. They already knew that. All right. Derek Stingley Jr. news, that was big. Coach O said no, he practiced yesterday, obviously eased into it. I don't know if he's going to be able to go a full game. I don't know if he's going to be able to go 4 quarters. Like I said, his father came on this show and said, no, he's going to play. If they had a game that day, he would have played that day. He was being cautious with the injury that he had. And I saw him on Saturday out there for a little bit. He was in a white jersey then. I think he was in a yellow jersey yesterday just to be cautious. I don't know what the plan is, but it sounds like he is going to give it a go.
I think we're being careful with him because we already know what he brings to the table. He's got 2 full years under his belt, a ton of games that he started. He started a national championship game. We know what we're going to get with Derek Stingley, and the most important thing for Derek Stingley is to play as close. If he's not 100%, at 99%. You want him as healthy as possible because we don't want to keep having reoccurring injuries throughout the season.
That's exactly right. Like, you have to be smart with him. He's the best player on your team. You have to make sure that you have a full season with Derek Stingley Jr. But, again, I don't feel like, just hearing the people talk about it, that it's something that potentially, if he goes out there, could injure it for the season. It seems like more of what can he handle? Like, what can he handle not having practice in the last couple of weeks? What can he handle going out there for week one? Going to be a very important part of what LSU does, considering when you look at what they want to do, run the football, put an extra defender in the box. Stingley Ricks take care of the outside. All right, it's going to do it for hour number one. We've got a lot still to come. In hour number two, Dawn Davenport, ESPN. She was on the sideline for the UCLA-Hawaii game. We'll catch up with Dawn Davenport when we come back here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Home for the Tigers, Eagle 98.1.
Insurance claims must be properly documented, and insurance statistics prove that having the right attorney can make all the difference in the world. I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
104.5 WNXX Jackson, 104.9 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, August the 31st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. Still to come on Off the Bench, ESPN's Dawn Davenport joins the show next. Nick Underhill stops by at 9 a.m. And UCLA play-by-play man Josh Lewin will be by at 9:30. E-Tail brings you the live broadcast from the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel starting Friday with Off the Bench. And after
T-Bob. Yo.
With us on
Good. How are you guys?
doing well. Hey, we got the generators fired up, and we're trying to give, a little 3-hour escape from everything going on here in South Louisiana. So we do appreciate you hopping on with us.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously want to send my thoughts and prayers to everybody that is affected there. I have one of my best friends who lives in New Orleans, and because of her job, she works in healthcare, stayed for the hurricane and said it's devastating and an absolute mess. So certainly thinking of all of you guys in Louisiana, as I live in Nashville, Tennessee, so we're getting the remnants of this storm right now, but definitely thinking of all of you guys there. And hey, let's talk some football for a little escape, right? We got a big one this weekend.
Absolutely, we do. And you saw this team up close and personal over the weekend. I think, one of the best things that we can do is talk about that UCLA run game right now to start this thing off, because it was dominant. You and I were talking back and forth last night. It was impressive. Zach Charbonnet had 6 carries, 106 yards. That offensive line was pushing people around. So what did you see from the Bruins being there on the sidelines?
Yeah, I think, what did I say? Seriously legit is how I describe this run game. And it's funny walking in, like, you look at what they have returning last year. They returned every single starter on that offensive line. They had Paul Gratton, their left guard, who came back for another year. A super senior is what they called him. So, you thought they might have some success. But then again, Demetric Felton, their leading running back, gets drafted by the Browns and is gone. So it's okay. Who's going to fill in there? You saw what Britton Brown did. The transfer from Duke, and he came back. He's a super senior as well. So you thought, okay, they should be okay there. Oh no, they're better than okay there. If that offensive line is clicking. I had asked DTR, their quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, about that offensive line like earlier in the week, and he was like, you don't understand. That group is just next level this year. And I had told you, too, just as a whole for this UCLA team, they've been bad for so long, like 5 straight losing seasons. Chip Kelly has all of these transfers that have come in, and every single leader that I asked about or we talked about, it ended up being a transfer. And I think that those transfers have come in and really like reshaped this UCLA football team, and they've brought in this mindset, and this team believes and knows and thinks that they are good this year. And this is really, I think, the first time that they've had that belief, and a lot of it is because of the experience. And I said it in the beginning of that game before we started, you can describe this team as a veteran team, and that's the very first time you can use that word to describe Chip Kelly's roster since he has been at UCLA. And honestly, Jacob, it starts there at that offensive line. And they didn't even have Sam Marazzo, who is their center, who started last year. He did not play. They expect him back this weekend for LSU. So not only do they have all their starters back, but they also have some depth there on both sides of the ball. And I think that's what they've been missing, the last couple of years. 20 starters back and a lot of depth that they have not had, which is key when you're talking college football. If you want to make a run, you got to have that depth.
And Don, when you look at year 4 for any head coach, that's the important year, right? You start to have your guys, the team starts to take your mold, and you can look at a situation like Nebraska and Scott Frost. That's year 4, and that's why a lot of pressure's on Scott Frost. Same thing with Chip Kelly. Like, this is year 4. Like, this is going to be your team. And this is the first time I've seen UCLA where they look like they are coached by Chip Kelly. Look, they want to do everything that they did at Oregon as far as the running game and some of the different things that we've seen for a long time from him. It didn't look like that before. Like, they didn't know their identity. It seems like they figured out that Chip Kelly identity now.
Yeah, I think you're dead on that. And here's the deal. This is the first year they actually have 85 scholarship players on this UCLA football team. I mean, he came in and absolutely cleaned house. He had 57 scholarship players his very first year there. So that you talk about that process, and now, okay, he's 10 and 21 in 3 years. Well, now he's at the point where he's got, that roster. He's got that experience. And yes, they are starting to look like a Chip Kelly team. Here's the other thing I think I want to point out is they had a new strength coach that came in last year. And obviously we all know how difficult last year was as far as no off-season workouts. You're not together. So they really couldn't do a whole lot, but Keith Belton is their new strength and conditioning coach. And so they actually finally had a full year with him, and every single player, I probably talked to 6 or 7 guys leading into this game, and every single player mentioned the fact that they had this off-season program and how much they love their new strength coach and how they feel like they are faster, they're more explosive offensively, and on and on and on. And I think we saw a little bit of that. And here's the other thing. I think we just saw a little taste of what Chip Kelly wants to do with this offense, because they didn't have to do a ton on Saturday. And Coach Kelly could sit there and tell us over and over in our coaches meetings that, hey, no, we are not looking ahead. This is we live in the present here. This is a one game at a time. It's Hawaii. And he's right in the fact that Hawaii is certainly an improved team, and they had a lot of starters back on a defense that, is super aggressive and likes to bring pressure and blitzed on 33% of their opponents' dropbacks last year. So you can say all of those things, but I think that there was a whole lot left, in the playbook and behind closed doors, knowing that there's a big one this weekend with Chip Kelly.
No doubt. And Dawn, you get to watch SEC running backs week in and week out, and I know we have a small sample size with the first game, but between Britton Brown and Zach Charbonnet, who do you think passes more of the eye test, and who do you think is going to give LSU more trouble in the running game between those two?
God, they're both impressive. They're both legit. Charbonnet 6'1", 220. Britton Brown 6'1", 205. And it was interesting too, talking to Justin Fry, their offensive coordinator. I asked him, I said, okay, if you describe this running backs room, because by the way, they've got other guys too. They're deep there. Keegan Jones is a guy 5'9", 175 that they like. Ethan Fournier, who actually went out with an injury, but he should be back. He's a fifth-year senior. He's a former walk-on, but he's the guy that kind of brings that attitude, that feistiness. And Justin Fry told me, he was like, look, this running backs room is running angry. He was like, in a good way, like, don't take that the wrong way. And he said, but I have never seen a running backs room that is running this angry, that is where they are. And I think part of that too is all the talk was, okay, yeah, they have 20 starters back, but they lost Demetric Felton. That was their guy at running back. And I think that these running backs obviously have that chip on their shoulder. That's okay. We can fill that. And Zach Charbonnet, I think, is pretty impressive. That's the one I would point to. You got a taste of it, obviously, with his 3 touchdowns, 106 yards.
Yeah,
but,
all explosive runs
Kelly,
too. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And Chip Kelly also pointed out he's extremely smart. He sees things that maybe others don't. He said during installation, he got there in the spring, obviously. He was a spring transfer from Michigan, so that helped. But he said, during installation, there was never a point where they had to pay any extra attention to getting him up to speed. Like, he's that guy that just walked in and immediately was like, here I am.
Don Davenport, co-host of 3HL on 104.5 The Zone there in Nashville. Also, sideline reporter for ESPN is our guest here on OTB. You can follow along with Don at Don Davenport TN on Twitter. All right, Don, something that I thought we'd be talking about today that we're not is DTR at the quarterback position. We've talked a lot about him throughout the offseason. He's a very talented player. Didn't have his best day. Only 10 of 20 there. The run game was really the story. What did you see from the quarterback for UCLA?
I saw that he was extremely frustrated with everything that went on. And then when he was pulled and Ethan Garbers came in, I think he was frustrated that he wasn't able to get into more of a rhythm in that game. I walked in expecting to see kind of a different DTR than maybe has been in the past, just in talking to him and listening to him and his confidence and how much he talked about. He's learned that he's tried to do too much over, the last kind of 3 years. His QBR has increased and had a career completion high last season. So you've kind of seen him take that step. And I think I will say this. I think he's ultra competitive. I think there's so much talk that this is the year for him, that he's learned so much on he can't do too much. And I think sometimes when he presses and he pushes and maybe he's a little too excited, that is when he struggles. And I think that is what we saw a little bit on Saturday. And I know that this is kind of like, oh, give me a break, Dawn. That's cheesy. But I worked SEC games last year, so obviously we had fans in the stands for those games, right? Maybe not full, but for the most part, every single SEC team had some kind of fans.